Hello, business building warrior. I call you a warrior because I know if you're trying to build a business, there's a lot of things and a lot of headwinds coming at you, right? A lot of decisions to make. Feel like you're taking risks here and learning new things there and trying to decide who you should partner with, who you should work with, who you should avoid. A lot of decisions. And then you got all the other things pushing against you. Taxes, if you do succeed, they're going to come after all your profits, right? A lot of things working against you. So why not be a part of a community of people who are doing life and business the right way together? That's what we do here on this podcast. We talk to really good people who are building real businesses, talk about their real struggles, the strategies they're using, the stuff they're doing that works, primarily talking about Amazon, but we've got a lot of other things going on around here too. But the reason we love Amazon is because that's where half of all internet transactions are happening every day in the United States. All the other billion websites are sharing the other half of the action. Amazon's where the game is right now in e-commerce. So that's where the low-hanging fruit is. And we've developed a very low risk, very low learning curve, very high odds of success strategies that cost you very little to get started so you can get proof of concept. That's what we do here. We've interviewed hundreds of people who have gone down that exact same path and built successful businesses. That's what this show is. That's why we call you a business building warrior. If this is your first episode, thanks for listening. If you've been around a while, you know we love interviewing the successful students of our training program, the Proven Amazon course, found at provenamazoncourse.com. For just a few dollars a month, you get what you need as you need it, even if you're completely brand new to selling online. Today's no exception. That course has been around for a very long time, actually 14 years. This is one of our students who's been around more than a decade that we're getting ready to interview. He's built a successful multiple income stream business. He's actually a coach on our team now as well. We're going to jump over and meet him in just a moment. He's going to talk you through a bit of his history, what's working now, what he's up to, a little bit of feedback about our most recent conference. By the way, if you want to come to our next one, we had about 800 people in Orlando, Florida in May of 2024. We're going to do it again May of 2025. Get over to this website. It's 3 words. Are you ready? The Proven Conference, theprovenconference.com. That's going to have details for you on our upcoming event. Circle these dates, May 29th, 30th, and 31st of 2025. That's when you want to be with us in Orlando. Details are coming. It's going to be very inexpensive, and we really want you there. If you're using e-commerce to grow a beautiful business or you want to, that's the place to be. It's the longest running Amazon seller conference in the world. No one else has been doing it as long as us. Our 13th event coming up in 2025. We'd love to have you there. All right, let's jump over, have a good conversation with John Harding. He did a great job on this interview. You're going to love it. Lots of good content for you. Enjoy. So, John, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. Good to see you, man.
Hi, Jim. Thank you so much.
And for those who are just listening, which is most of our audience, I got to say, John came dressed for the occasion, man. He's looking sharp. Maybe the best dressed guest we've had in a while. So thanks, dude. You're all dressed up for the YouTube viewers. They'll get to see what
That's
I'm talking about.
Dress
But it's
for
good to
success.
talk to you, man. You've been in our community a long time. It's been a crazy journey. We have a lot of places we could go. But man, let's just start with your story. Let's dive in if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
So it was about 11 years ago. I was very interested in starting a business. Before that, I'd tried 6 other businesses. Some of them were multi-level marketing. Some of them were some ideas I had, but I never had success.
Yep.
And then
I did the same thing, man. I was all over the place with different business ideas before e-commerce.
Right. And then I started, well, why don't I try real estate investing? So as I was learning how to do that, my wife decided that she was going to sell some textbooks that she's no longer using. So she said, I'm going to put these on eBay. So she puts them on eBay all by herself. And for about 5 mornings, she'd wake up and she'd say, I sold something.
Mm-hmm.
And after she said this over and over again, I thought, hey, I want to do what you're doing. You know what? You're getting sales. This is great. Let's talk about it. Now, at the same time, I was also listening to some webinars by Jim Cockrum. And they were talking about how to sell on Amazon using FBA's services.
Mm-hmm.
And I was enjoying those webinars. So I was listening to that. And it was actually Kat Simpson that really caught my attention because she was on that webinar and she was all excited because you were asking her, hey, you're doing this now. How's it going? And she just had all this excitement in her voice. She's just kind of that way.
Yeah.
And so that got my attention. And of course, I liked your presentation because it was very practical and upfront. And you can kind of tell when you've been around people in church for a while, you kind of get their heart and their spirit. And I was really noticing that, hey, I think these guys are Christians. So I listened to some more of those webinars and I took notes. And then one day I had this idea and I approached my wife and I said, sweetheart, what if we raise money through selling products online? And if we get enough money, we can go visit your family in India for the Christmas season. So she really liked that. And then I said, okay, well, we've got 4 months to do it and we have to raise $4,000. Do you think we can work together and make it happen? Again, she was interested. She says, yes. So then my caveat was, well, if we hit our goal, I would like to buy Jim Cockrum's course, the pack course, and then I want to study that course and make sure we create a business here and eventually do this full time.
Okay, so this is over a decade ago still.
This was a decade ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the course has been out. It's the longest running Amazon seller course in the world, to our knowledge. I mean, it's been out at this point. I think we're at 14 plus years, 15 maybe.
Fantastic.
So yeah, so about a decade ago you're coming in, and the course looks a lot different now.
It does. Yes, sure. It does.
It's been upgraded many times since then. But even then, that was your goal. What was the price? Do you happen to remember?
Yes, we had to do $4,000 because it was about a little over $2,000 or a little under for a flight ticket all the way to India. So
I mean, the price for the proven Amazon course, though.
Oh, it was. I got a discounted rate, so I think at that time it was 75,
something like that. Gotcha. It's $75. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Back then,
79.
I think the lowest it ever was like about that price for one time. Yeah. Well, cool. We'll keep the story going. Didn't mean to interrupt. There's a little down memory lane for me there.
Sure. Well, we hit the yard sales. Is that where we started? And I had $50 in my pocket, and I go out yard sailing every weekend. And from the tips that you gave on the webinar, Sabrina would stop at a few drugstores and other big box stores and find some things on clearance. So we were collecting a lot of inventory rather quickly and reselling it rather quickly. And of course, this was, in the fall. So we're moving into Q4, which is a great time to sell. So everything was moving quite rapidly. So we hit our goal. And before we left for India, I bought the pack course. And when I was in India on my off time with family, I would study and write notes and put my game plan. And I was there in India for a month. So after 30 days, I pretty much knew what I was going to do. We're going to pursue retail arbitrage, online arbitrage. It's kind of already what we're doing with eBay and finding things at yard sales. So we moved in that direction, and I did it part-time for 3 years, had another job. And then after I switched to another job, but I had to leave that job because the company was downsizing. So then this was our opportunity to really look at each other and say, hey, do you want to do this full time? And we said, let's do it. So we made the leap, and I haven't looked back since.
Wow. Went full time.
Yes.
So you've been full time in e-commerce for quite a while now.
Yes.
And you've never paid another dime for the proven Amazon course, even though we've added about $20,000 of new courses in value, right?
Exactly.
It keeps getting better. I'm so proud of us for doing that over the years, taking care of those early students. Because we said early on, hey, this course is going to get better and improve over time, but you'll never have to pay anything else for it. If you just sit back, it's just going to keep getting better and better. And here it is.
It's a great resource. I go in there all the time and refresh my understanding on some things, or if I forgot something, I just go back and take the course again, or maybe there's a new strategy in there that I could apply. So all the time going in there.
Yeah, that's so cool. So, all right, you've been doing this a while now. Teach us some lessons and bring along the new folks, the new listeners, maybe for the ride as we go. And we got some big news. You're a new coach on our team, which is congratulations. We talked a little offline, but welcome aboard. It's so great having you. And for those who don't know, the listener today who may not realize it, we've got about 60 coaches on our team. And these are all people who have succeeded with the strategies we teach around here, the proven Amazon course strategies. And they've got a teacher's heart, and they've demonstrated that to us over a significant period of time. They get the vision of what we're trying to do here. We truly care about people, and they've succeeded at a significant level with what we teach here. So John is one of those people. And if you want to talk about our coaching program, go to silentjimdotcom, book a call with our team. Love to talk about your e-commerce plans and goals. And after you hear John today, maybe that's someone you want to talk about having as your coach. That'd be awesome. But yeah, welcome aboard, John. I just had to throw that out there so we don't lose anyone.
Thank you.
But yeah, take it wherever you want to go, man. Let's keep the story rolling.
Sure. So we were looking for products to find, and of course, we wanted to do something a little more on the wholesale side at this point now. So we were interested in Indian groceries, and we found a supplier that about a 15-mile drive. And if I went over there with my van, I could get a half a pallet of groceries, which is probably all I could afford at the time. And we purchased a half a pallet about every week. And what I would do is I would go meet this truck. He'd be there at a roughly certain time every week. I'd load everything into my van. I'd drive it all the way back to our apartment, which was on the second floor. I would take everything. Now, keep in mind, on a pallet, you got 300 or 400 pounds of items that you got to
Right.
lug all the way upstairs.
Right.
So I had to take it all the way to the second floor to the apartment. We'd label it, process it. Then I had to take it all the way back down, set it on a pallet again, and sit outside in the parking lot for a couple hours waiting for the pickup.
Oh my goodness. That's work,
So
man.
that
It
was a
sounds like a
lot
lot
of
of these
work.
New York students we have. It's like, everyone's in a high rise and yeah, the elevator's out and 5 floors up and I was pulling stuff up and down the stairs and UPS guy hated me. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how
Sure.
I just, the tenacity, having your own business is so much better than getting up and going to work every day. We are willing to do just about anything to
Right.
replace that income with, yeah, I'll go up and down flights of stairs and unload my van twice a day. And that's beautiful.
Right.
Well done.
Of course, the excitement of the whole thing was kept us motivated, and we
Sure.
just enjoyed that. But we did come to a place where, like, okay, there's got to be an easier way we could do this.
Right.
So again, we were listening to, I think, another webinar through the pack community, and there was talk about why don't you go for shoes and clothes, and I was really interested in that. And so again, I got a little lesson there quickly on how to get into that, and I reached out. So what I had to do was shoes and clothes are typically a gated category. So in order to get ungated, you got to get permission from a brand that says you can sell my product on Amazon. I give you authorization. Here's my letter. Take that letter and then you submit it to Amazon for approval. And we did that. We found two different companies, two different wholesale suppliers. Took some time, but we used the no show. What is it called?
Oh, the
Trade
trade
show
show,
no
no
show.
show. Yeah, that's a strategy inside the Proven Amazon course, a PDF, right?
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we really liked that, and we put that to work for us. And we sure enough, we found some people, and we were on our way. Now, I only needed one company with shoes and one company with clothing to open up the whole category, and then I can sell anything in that category, which was great because after a while, we decided not to go with that wholesale supplier anymore. The sales were a little bit slow, but then we could go after bigger name brands or medium sized brands with our RA and OA strategies. And that worked out really great. So, and now I didn't have to lug up, 300, 400 pounds of goods up the
Right.
stairs.
Yeah.
And the margins were bigger and the price tag was bigger. So we made just as amount of, even more money with less effort. So that's what we liked about it.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, keep us going. Yeah. What are the other seasons of business you've been through? A decade's a long time.
Right. Well, I did partner up with another group and I did do a little coaching with them, which I enjoyed very much. But like you said, Jim, a lot of these companies kind of come and go because they don't quite have either the ethics behind what they're doing or they don't have the good strategy and they kind of run out of money. So that was the case with this other group. But I loved coaching because I was able to help a lot of people with their wholesale and private label brands. And they had to order all the way from China many of the times and then bring it in. So, they had to do the whole process from A to Z. How do you find a product? How do you research a product?
Sure.
How do you bring it in from another country? How do you package it? How do you send it to Amazon's FBA? How do you do the
Right.
analytics inside of FBA to make sure I'm,
Right.
getting the best out of my listing and the best out of my advertising?
A lot of
So
steps
a
and
lot
a
of
lot of new
steps.
sellers coming in, and I don't know what organization you're with. It's irrelevant to me. It doesn't matter. But I do know just out of observing the industry you've probably heard me say it, observing the industry for, 15 years or so. My estimation is about 5% of the new sellers who come in and say, I'm going to launch my own brand and I'm going to order from China. About 5% of them actually end up doing something that they're proud of in the end. And the rest just kind of end up struggling and grinding through. And like, how do
Right.
you feel about that number? What, because you were maybe deeper in it. We've never offered that here to new sellers, right? So what would your observation be? Like, what is that ratio of, if I sent you 100 students brand new, said, let's launch a successful private label, and they're just coming in cold. What ratio would you assign
I think
success?
that's a good estimate. Somewhere between 5 and 10% is probably about right. And again, that's why that company didn't last. They ended up closing their doors. So I think what you're teaching here, what the community that they're teaching is, it's better to have a foundation where you have success and it's more on long term, like with your replens model. It's a really, really good way to go. And then as you build up capital, then you can take a little bit more risk with that capital.
Exactly. And the experiences and
Yeah.
the connections and the contacts. Do you like our analogy that we use with the swimming pool? Have you heard that analogy?
Remind me, I forget.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk it through. See if you liked my analogy. Now that you're a coach on the team, that maybe you'll be able to use this one yourself. But I liken your Amazon adventure to going to a swim park, right? So you've got the 30-foot high dive over there, right? And you can kind of see where I'm going already.
Mm-hmm.
And you got over here on the right, you got the kiddie pool area where even if you fall down on your face, it's soft blue foam and it's about a quarter inch of water and it's warm. All
Right.
the swim diapers over there, right? We don't start you off on the 30-foot high dive expecting you to do backflips off the platform. We start you off in the kiddie pool area. I don't care, what you're coming from in your past. We're going to make sure that you're well qualified.
Right.
At least then we're going to have water wings and you're going to learn how to swim with a paddle board, a little kickboard, and we're going to move you through these progressions. Now you're ready for the bigger risks, the low dive, the higher dives, the platform dive. Like now you can hold your breath for 2 minutes underwater. Like that's the riskier stuff over there. So what we decided a long time ago is we don't want new sellers coming in and sending them over to the high dive, even if they got the cash. They don't
Right.
have the experience or the knowledge or the connections, the confidence in the program. Send them over to the kiddie area. Low risks, earn while you learn. Put a few dollars in, get a few dollars back, get the wheels turning. Amazon starts to know, like, and trust you. You
Right.
start adding on some tools and some connections in the community. You get into a mastermind group, maybe, right? You're making your way through the swim park. Do you like that visual?
Very good.
Yeah. And I think what a lot of organizations have done is they kind of throw you into the middle or even worse. Hey, you got money? Yeah, let's go launch a product. No,
Right.
you're
Well, it
just
was
not
kind
ready
of,
for it.
yeah, and it was kind of like the sales pitch that I was attracted to when I went after those multi-level marketing. But hey, you could make thousands of dollars, but
Mhm.
usually the reality is there's only 1% of the community that's making that kind of income and that whole thing. So you really have to work hard. And what you're doing here with the community is you're helping them get success at a rather, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's not as difficult unless if you don't put the work in. If you put the work in, you can find success. It's very
Oh,
achievable.
absolutely. And it's progressive. And at no point are you making a big risk because that's my whole philosophy about e-commerce. The way e-commerce changed the world of business, the true paradigm shift, and some people take advantage of it, others don't. Some people treat e-commerce just like it's any other business model. Big risk required, and you hope it works out someday. Like e-commerce takes that out of the equation. You don't have to take big risks and hope it works out someday. You don't have to spend a ton of money and hope it comes back someday. You can take tiny little tests and work in the direction that you want to go and let it get big progressively over time. I was actually at Amazon's headquarters. It's been a few years back, but we were with the seller support team at their invitation to come out. Hey, you're doing a great job of training a lot of people how to use Amazon. We want to invite you out and have some conversations, right? One of the things I saw on the wall in one of the rooms was the pyramid we came up with, the Amazon seller pyramid of opportunities. We came up with like start low hanging fruit, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, move into replens. You start scanning maybe a few barcodes. Don't do that too long. Move up into replens, finding stuff that you can easily source over and over again, and maybe then wholesale, right? Then you're working up into maybe some branded bundles, starting to think about launching your own brand. Maybe you do some creative partnerships, right? You're kind of climbing up this ladder, and
Right.
private label launching your own brand is up towards the top, right? You
Right.
don't come in up there. You come in at the base level and you take the smaller, but they had that picture hanging on the wall that we had come up with as kind of their framework that they encouraged people into. Though I thought that was pretty cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that because if you go into the back office of Amazon, they just keep adding more bells and whistles and features, and it can be overwhelming because it's not like it was 10 years ago. I mean, that they've really put a lot of engineering into it. And so if you can kind of go into that with the pack course or coach, and you kind of say, all right, let's just hone in on some basics to understand, and then you can over time understand these other features to implement in your business.
Yeah. Very well said. Well, let's keep this story going. And just so you know as well, I was just checking my calendar here a moment ago. We got about 20 minutes before I've got another call I have to jump on, unfortunately. So we need to kind of move it along a little
Okay,
bit more than most episodes, if that's okay.
sure. The final part of the story would be after working on this for several years now, I was itching to try to expand the company. And Nathan Bailey put together a proven product partnering
That's
course.
it, PPP. Yeah. Nathan, that director of our coaching program. Yeah.
That's right. And the idea behind it was, hey, if you already know how to use Amazon, why don't you help other brands get rolling in Amazon? Because maybe they don't have the knowledge that you do. And now that you have the experience, you can come alongside them, provide a service that they'll pay you for.
Yep.
And you can do a number of ways of getting paid. You could do a flat fee, or you could do on a commission basis, or maybe a hybrid of the two. And I really like that idea because now I don't have to buy the product. I can just help someone else that's already bought the product and improve their sales, build a relationship. And in the long run, everybody wins. I've had clients that have used me for a short period and then come back. And I've had clients just, hey, I just need this one quick job. Can you do this one quick thing? And then a few clients that like to keep it going for, months and years.
That's awesome. Hey, how many clients have you dealt with, would you say, using that model?
I've done four clients, and we've been running for maybe 2 years, 2.5.
Right. That's awesome. So do you feel like it's going well for you?
It's going well. In fact, we want to ramp it up more because we like the idea of having multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
And don't want to be too dependent on one. So we
Sure.
need to really ramp up this side.
Yeah. It's a great way to diversify and the easy way to find potential clients. I mean, there's any number of ways, but those brands that seem to be annoyed with the selling community, if they're the big ones are harder to approach, but those mid-tier brands, they like get grumpy one day and like, what are all these sellers doing on our listings? Someone needs to control this. Reach out to them. Say, hey,
Yes.
I'm one of those guys, but I know the platform. Just say something as simple as I'm in a community of people that eat, live, sleep, breathe Amazon. I may not know all the answers, but I'm in a community of people who've been doing this for a couple decades. I'm good friends with them. Maybe I'm in their coaching program, whatever, right? Just say something to build up your validation and say, hey, I want to help you navigate this.
Right.
And it's a win-win proposal. I'm not asking you to spend $30,000 to hopefully work it out someday. I'm saying, hey, let me take over this brand. Let me help you out here. And then you navigate through. Maybe you just simply turn it over to someone like you, John, that knows what they're talking about. Has had a few
Right.
clients, and you partner up with you and share the proceeds. So you don't even have to know all that much yourself.
Right.
But I can tell you the vast majority of brands on Amazon right now are frustrated with Amazon about something.
Yes. Right.
It's kind of like,
And
if you're frustrated with the IRS, you go find an accountant. Most of us are frustrated with the IRS. Find a
right.
decent accountant is the solution. Find someone who's on Amazon all day, every day, if you're a brand, and let them help you. Right. That's what we've become as Amazon warriors around here. It's such an untapped opportunity. I love it. I love that you're diving into that.
Well, like you said, the bigger Amazon gets, the more frustrating I think sellers are going to have these problems arise because they're having more policies and more restrictions and more features. And if people really want to stay competitive in that space, they're going to have to either learn it all or they have to hire someone that already knows it already and put it into practice.
Yeah. The brands, I would say 95% of all brands on Amazon right now are unhappy with the experience they're having.
Yeah.
And they're looking for solutions. Yeah, that's so
Right.
wide open. That agency model, some people call it, is so wide open for the smaller brands. It's just a matter of having conversations. Had a guest on the podcast here just a few days ago talking about, it's Joseph, actually. His episode will probably come out before yours, but I think he's got about 25, 30 clients.
Nice.
And what he's done, the ones that want his help, he'll help them. But what he's basically done is say, hey, let me just take over and be the exclusive seller. under your brand, give me a letter of authorization. Let's lock it down. Let's really tighten these things up. And I'll be the guy that kind of does it all for these mid-size and smaller brands. They love
Right.
that. Just
Right.
love it. He's doing so well. He's honoring their minimum advertised pricing, map pricing, and just ordering more as he needs it. They love him. He loves them. Right? Those opportunities are so abundant. There's hundreds of thousands of brands that need these services. They may not realize it yet, but they do. They're going to be frustrated and they need them at some point. Such a great next step model for
In
sellers.
fact, I have one client that we're moving in that direction together. Once I get their listings fixed, he'll be interested in that kind of exclusive agreement and possibly let me sell his products in other countries. So,
Yeah, and that's what Joseph said too. He's doing it in
yeah,
Europe now and the US. And they say, hey, we want to get into this new territory. Can you help us? Like, yeah, sure, I'll figure it out. Let me work with Amazon. Amazon loves helping brands spread to new territories. They got an
right.
entire team set up to help you manage that.
Yes.
So yeah, huge opportunities there
Yeah, really great.
that can be built off of this foundation of learning the basics of the platform.
Right.
Beautiful. Well, where else do you want to go with the story, John? I know you've got 100 stories to tell. I mean, a decade again, that's a long time, man. So drop
Sure.
some nuggets on us.
Well, the only other thing is last conference that I attended, I really thought was the best out of all of them that I've attended.
How many
I've
have you
been at
been to?
four. I've been at four
Okay.
proven conferences. And the reason I liked it so much was I thought the vendors that were there was a wide variety, and there were a lot of vendors that I needed. I thought the workshops were diverse, which helped me grow because I was learning things I didn't know by the diversity of the workshops. And then, of course, reuniting with some people that I had built relationships with over the years. I hadn't seen them in a long time. And once we connected, we were like, hey, we should talk because we could work something out with this and that and the other thing. So that was great. And I think the last thing, the last day we had a church service, and you led us in that. And it was that day that I had read some scriptures about Noah's story. And I was thinking about Noah as a business owner in this scenario. God talks to him and he says, Noah, I have got a mission for you, and I want you to build this ark. And see, here's the audible voice of God. So now I'm picturing myself as Noah. Now, if I was Noah and I had to go back and talk to my wife, hey, honey,
She wasn't there when God
I
talked.
got, yeah,
Right.
I heard from God, and
Yeah.
do you want to hear what he has to say? Sure. Well, we have to build this boat. Okay. Well, how big is it? Well, it's like a cruise
Huge.
liner.
Right.
Have you
Yeah.
ever built a cruise liner before? No, I haven't. Okay. And how are you going to pay for this? Well, I guess I'll have to pay for it. Oh, so in my mind, I'm having this conversation like, well, how did that conversation go with Noah? But the difference between me and him, and I think this is where I need to grow, is he had the faith, and God knew he
Mhm.
had the faith to get
Mhm.
this impossible project done that he's never done before. And I think we as believers, God has sent us on a mission here in the business world, and he's put stuff on our heart that we need to do, and some of it is big vision, it's big picture. And you look at it like, how am I ever going to get there? But if we kind of continue on the journey and we have faith and relationship with him, it's going to come. It's going to come about. And
Yeah.
he needs us to do that because we're working with him. It's his plan that we're actually
Yeah.
implementing. And if we say, oh, I can't do it, that's too expensive, or I'll never be able to learn all that stuff, we're just negating who God is. So we have to partner with him. He's going to be our executive chief board member, and he's going to give us some directions, and we just got to run with it.
That's a great topic. I had a conversation literally just yesterday for about an hour with one of my sons he got his business, and he's talking about the faith that's required to be good at business.
Yeah.
Right. We were talking about King David and using some analogies there, just thinking through things. And, I love our keynote speaker this year, Rabbi Daniel Lapin, good friend of mine. I reference him frequently because he just makes a lot of this so practical, regardless of your worldview now. We've got listeners to this show that aren't Christians. That's great. We love you. Welcome. We're glad you're here. And as long as you can hang out with us crazy Christians, that's what I always say, like you'll be fine.
Right.
But the concept of being a businessman requiring faith doesn't mean you have to be religious, but you do have to have faith. And what do you mean by that? Well, it means the risk I'm taking by my inventory today, I have faith that the sun's going to come up tomorrow and people are going to still be buying things. And I'm going to be able to turn this $3,000 worth of inventory into $4,500 of sales with some profit left. We're the risk takers, Risk taking requires faith. It's a risk worth taking. I have faith in the future.
Right.
That same faith that you're required to have as a businessman, it's not unlike the faith that we have in God, right? It's a very similar, I would say almost identical. God's got this. He's taking me to a better place. I need to take certain actions to get there. There's a faith element to it. So to be a business building warrior, you got to have faith, man, that it's going to be better tomorrow than today. It's not time to gather all your stuff and sell it and bury it in a can in the backyard. And then here's all my money. I got to protect it. It's
Right.
just going to shrink and go away, especially during inflation, right? It's just going to
Exactly.
shrink. You gotta have faith the future is going to be better. You got to invest. You got to take risks. You got to get out there and serve. So these themes, we almost have a bit of an advantage as Christians. We understand the concept of faith. It's required in business. You got to have
Right.
it.
Right.
You got to have faith. The future is going to be better. One of
Fantastic.
the ways I love how Rabbi Lampin illustrates this is he says, money is spiritual. If you don't believe me, let's think of your net worth right now. What would your net worth? He said I can reduce everyone's net worth in the room to zero with a simple sentence. All of our net worth is zero. Say, I just heard from NASA. They've confirmed a comet is on the way to hit Earth, and this place is not going to exist half an hour from now. What's your net worth? Who
Right.
cares? It's
Right.
zero, right? It's like everyone's net worth is suddenly zero. If their final, few breaths or moments away, and no one cares what anyone owns at that point, right?
Right.
So this whole concept of building is a faith-based endeavor. Yeah. You get
Yes.
me on these tangents, man. I don't stop. This is your story, brother. Keep
Sure.
it going, man. What else is on your mind with the time we have left?
I think that's about it. I think that's pretty much sums it up.
Hmm,
The future looks bright.
I agree.
We're going to be trying to expand more in Walmart. We're going to keep our Amazon sales going. We're going to expand more in our PPP clients, and we do eBay still. We still have some eBay. eBay for shoes is really good because if you get a return, it's got a defect or a dirty sole or something, I can quickly settle on eBay. So it's a great place to unload some inventory if you need to.
Yeah. We love eBay. You do any Facebook marketplace? Any
I
local?
haven't. I haven't in a long time, but I used to. Yep.
Yeah.
For bigger items, I would. Yep.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I'm looking right now, I'm waiting for the right office chair to pop up. I'm going to
Yep.
replace my old office chair over here. And it's going to be someone local who, like, has an extra nice one and, moving it cheap and I can hop in the car. Yeah. So, like furniture, that sort of thing. We've sold a lot of furniture. We're like, time to get a new couch. All right, well, let's get rid of this one. And someone's there at your door a couple hours later. So yeah, I love eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Walmart. We're getting super excited about Walmart. Walmart's actually growing faster than any of them right now. Now it's still considerably
Fantastic.
smaller than Amazon, of course, but it's growing faster. And it's still kind of Wild West days, where
Yeah.
you talk about you can put just about anything out there and set up a SKU. And, there's a few rules and things to keep your eye on, but the list of rules on Amazon is just, it is just this massive volume now. And with Walmart, it's like, yeah, go ahead. We don't care. And
Sure.
so you can throw this stuff out in front of a decent sized audience. And what we're doing right now is stuff that turns out we can't sell on Amazon. Well, let's send it to Walmart. And in some
Right.
cases, it takes off. And we're like, whoa,
Right.
better margins. We're selling more units. Let's just start selling this on Walmart
Right.
instead of worrying about, Amazon. So I think it's a nice, healthy mix to have both. And on that note, too, John, I don't know if you caught word, but we're building out the system with Kang, right? That's
Yes.
silentjimdotcom/the system. And it's going to accommodate Walmart and Amazon. So you can blend the two beautifully together in one workflow software that handles everything for the process. We're super excited about that. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to implement it. So I can't wait.
Yeah, it's coming, man. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up? I appreciate diving into your story. Good getting to know you a little bit. You've been around a while, and I should have known you better than I did, but welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Any final parting thoughts for the listeners?
Yeah, I would say if you are listening and you were like me 10 years ago and you're kind of getting some information and just thinking about it, I think working with Jim, you can go as slow or as fast as you need to. And they provide a safe environment where you don't have to do a lot of risk. I mean, it's a low cost to join. I think you've got a monthly subscription now for the program.
Yeah.
And you can implement some of the most basic strategies just to see if you like it, if this is something you want to do or more on a more regular basis. And it's just a great way just to kind of get your feet wet in the online selling and see how it goes.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you for encouraging folks. And we work really hard to eliminate as much of the risk as possible, financial risk, and just you don't want to spend a bunch of time learning a bunch of stuff you're never going to need. So
Yes.
we do this concept of just-in-time education. Take what you just learned in the last 12 minutes and go take action.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read 15 books. No, it's not just in case education. It's just in time. Here's what you need next. Go do it. And don't move on in your education until you've done it. Right. And
Right.
take that very incremental path. We've just seen it work, with 10,000 students over 22 years. We've learned a few things. We're still learning,
Right.
obviously, but that's how most people wind up succeeding. So thanks for your shout out to programs, and so glad you're a part of it, John.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Thank you
going to
so much.
wrap this up. I think this is just one of many, many, many great interviews. If you're not aware, if you're new around here, we have hundreds at this point of interviews with students of the Proven Amazon course. Some are people from our team. Some are just students who've come in and built beautiful businesses. But that's what this podcast is all about, along with some great educational content as well. So scroll back, listen to 10, 20, 30 episodes. You get a feel for what we're all about. Jump into our free Facebook group. There's a link at silentjimdotcom. We just passed 76,000 members recently. It's the most active, encouraging, supportive, success filled Facebook group or e commerce group in the world, to my knowledge. And it's even better when you consider that we kick out about half the people who try to get in before they even get in the door, the spammers and the clowns. We don't let those guys in. We research every profile of every person that comes in to make sure they don't have this spammer profile that's easy for us to spot at this point. So it's good people who are trying to build real businesses, very helpful. Come join us completely free. So thanks, John. Good hanging out with you today, my friend.
Thank you, Jim.
God bless you, brother. And for all the listeners today, we're going to have another good episode for you very soon. Keep listening, hanging out, subscribe, give us some likes and love and comments. We love all that. That helps spread the word. And thank you for being the best part of our show. We'll have a good episode for you again real soon. Talk to you then.